Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and selamat sejahtera. I prepare this slide to be as online teaching and learning and as a replacement for one of the class that I had to go somewhere previously. I ask you to study several things. I hope you can try to follow it, and if you want to review about that, you can pause the slide and you can resume it later. Let us start by discussing about programming variables. Programming a variable is a name that we can store a value and we use frequently. We use frequently in our exercises. And in the example, integer number equal to 230. Always remember that the value that we want to store, we put at the right side of equal, and the variable name we put before equal symbol. At the left side of the equal symbol. And before that variable name, for the first time we use it, we must specify the data type, either integer or double or string. And we are going to discuss the rule to name a variable, peraturan, to put a correct variable name. We can store many type of values to the variable with the many type of the data type that we are going to discuss it later. Then, discussing the rules of naming variable, let us discuss in the big picture as identifiers. Identifiers can be variable, can be project name, can be constant. eh. What I mean is that all the rules that we are going to discuss after this can be applied to either variable, constant, or etc. Okay, this is the important part here. eh. The rule to name an identifier. First, it can be made only with letters A, B, C, D, or digits 1, 2, 3, underscore, and sign dollar. That means you cannot put plus sign, you cannot put blank character, and you cannot use dash, etc. And the second rule is you cannot start with a digit, cannot start with a number. That means it can start with underscore, it can start with dollar sign, and definitely it can start with the letter A, B, C, D. Okay, number three, the rule is spaces are not permitted. That means you cannot have variable with two words. The, the fourth rule is you cannot use reserved word like integer, double, public, main, etc. And also an identifier cannot be the word like true, false, or null. The other thing that you need to know is that variable is case sensitive. That means if you have one variable with name A, B, C with a capital case, huruf besar, and the other variable is A, B, C with a small case, both variables are different. It's not same variable. Although same in terms of A, B, C, but for the computer, it is different variable. An identifier can be of any length. It can be up to 20 characters, 30 characters. You can give a long name for variable, but you are encouraged to use short name to avoid mistake of typing your variable. Okay, let us discuss about this exercise, either legal or illegal. Variable first. Okay, what is your answer? First is legal, acceptable, boleh diterima. Start with the word. How about number two? $amount. It's still acceptable. Start with $. Number three, hello. It looks acceptable, but it is illegal. Why it illegal? Because there is exclamation mark at the end of the variable. 1 plus 2. Plus sign is not acceptable. Number 5, second, it's not acceptable as well because start with the number. Number 6, okay, acceptable because start with the underscore. Okay, as mentioned in the rule, you are not allowed to use Java keywords as variable. So you cannot use abstract, boolean, byte, char, class, continue, and the rest. But if you, for instance, class is not allowed. But if you use CLASS with capital case, it's acceptable. Because for computer, the keyword is CLASS with the small case character. Here I just want to show the other way of declaring variable. We mentioned previously that for the first time we use any variable, we have to determine data type of that variable. Only the first time we use it. Besides, we determine data type when we want to assign value to a variable. We also can declare it before we use it, before we store any value. For instance, we want to use variable sale to store certain value. What we can do is, before we store any value, we just put it at the top of our programming, sale as double, semicolon, without putting any variable yet. Without store any value yet. If we have more than one variable with the same data type, for instance, we have integer I semicolon and we have integer j semicolon, we can make it shorter by putting integer I comma j semicolon. Here, I just want to show that when you put a data type for a variable without initialize, without store any value, and if you incidentally display the value of that variable, you will receive error message. Computer will display error message. Okay, don't forget that you can pause this slide, you can repeat the previous lesson, and you can come back to this slide. Now I'm going to discuss another type of identifier, a constant. A constant is almost similar as variable, except a constant, the value in a constant cannot be changed. In a variable, you can store a value. In constant, you also can store a value. In a variable, you can store a value, and after that you can change that value. You can assign another, you can store another value to that variable, and will replace the previous variable, the previous value. But in a constant, when you store a value, or when you give any value to a constant, if you give any value to a constant, you cannot change the value anymore. Okay, in a constant, usually we use a constant to store value that we not really want to change, such as we want to store a pi value. Usually we will not change the pi value. The way we use constant is almost similar as the way we use variable. In a variable, when we want to store a value, we put the value at the right side of equal, and we store to variable. Similarly, in a constant as well, we put a value at the right side of equal, and we put a constant name at the left side of the equal symbol. And before constant name or before variable name, we should put data type, integer, double, char, or string. And in constant, we have to add another keyword. That keyword is final. That means to make a identifier as a constant, we should start with the word final, then data type, double integer, char, or etc. Then after that, the constant name. And usually, the constant name we will put as all uppercase letters. And at the end of the statement, we should terminate with the semicolon. This example of how we use constant in a program, such as line final double pi equal to 3.14. And that's constant. Integer r equal to 5, r is variable. We use constant, it's almost similar as we use variable, such as double area equal to pi times r times r. I mean, in terms of its function, it's almost similar as variable, except you cannot change its value, and the way we write it, we should put the word final in front of its declaration. When we store a value to variable, we need to specify data types. I introduced to you several data types previously, such as integer, double, and string. Now I'm going to discuss several more data types. We can categorize data type into three categories. One is integral, second one is floating point, the third one Boolean. Integral, data type that do not accept decimal points. Floating point, data type for data with decimal points. We will discuss about Boolean later. For the integral data type, we have many more data types, many more specific data types, such as we have integer, short, long, byte, and char. For the floating point data types, we have two specific data types. One is float, the other one is double. Yeah? And for Boolean data type, Boolean data type is data type that can contains only true and false. That means when you want to store something to the Boolean variable, the value should be either true or false with that spelling. Okay, now we go back to the integral data type. I mentioned previously we have options such as byte, short, integer, long, floats, and double. For the byte data type, as integer, you can have only the whole value without decimal point. But the value for the byte data type can contain value between negative 128 to 127. You don't have to memorize. You just you remember that for the byte data type, you can have only small values. For the short, it can contains from minus negative 32,000 something to 32,000 positive value. And for integer, it can contains up to 2.1 billion. And for long, it can contain very huge number. And floats, double can contain more than floats. Okay, there is special data type, and that data type is char data type. Although it is under integral data type, but I prefer to refer to char data type as similar as string data type. String data type, the data type that can contain any message but inside double quotes. Whereas character data type can contain only one character and should be in a pair of single quotes. Again, character data type can only store one character with a pair of single data quotes. Eh? When we compare to the string, string can contain many data type. Can contain many characters, and it should be enclosed with the double string. Okay, again, back to the Boolean. When, as we mentioned previously, you can store either true or false. The true small case and false small case as well. If you want to store true or store false, such as false, you store false to variable done, and variable done in data type of Boolean. That means false and true value acceptable values for Boolean variable. Okay, in this slide, we are going to discuss which arithmetic operator computer will execute first. For example, when we have 3 plus 5 multiple with 5, 3 plus 4, and then times 5, the computer usually will process from left to right. But between plus and multiple, computer will execute multiple first. But when we have bracket, computer will execute whatever in the bracket first rather than other operator. So in terms of precedence rule, the bracket computer will execute whatever in the bracket first. Then we are going to discuss later about unary operator. After that, computer will give priority to multiple, division, or modulus. And lastly, the plus and sign symbol. Okay. Yeah. First, uh, multiple, multiplication, division, and modulus are on the higher precedence compared to the plus and sign. Then, if we have in one expression, we have multiplication, division, and modulus, all those operator will be treated equally, but computer will process from left to right. That means if we have multiplication at the left and division at the right, then multiplication will be executed first. Okay, in this case, integer c equal to 9 plus 6 minus 3 times 6 divided by 2. So we have plus, minus, multiplication and division. So as we knew just now, um, multiplication and division have the same priority. But since the computer process from left to right, that means computer will execute, in step 1, computer will execute 3 times 6 first, rather than 6 divided by 2. 3 times 6 we will get 18. Then after that, computer will process 18 divided by 2 because division is higher than plus and minus. Then computer will process plus, after that minus. So okay, in this slide we are going to discuss how to convert mathematical expression to the Java expression. So 3 plus 4x, the whole thing is divided by 5. I mean, when you want to convert to Java, the whole thing 3 plus 4 multiply with the x, you need to put in a bracket. So that shows that the whole thing, the bracket will show that the whole thing is divided with 5. Similarly, uh, the second expression, 10 times 5 minus 5 times a plus b plus c. The better way is put the whole thing in one bracket. We are going to have bracket inside bracket. In a safer way is to put the whole thing like we did in the first division. For the second division, better we put the whole thing in bracket 10 times 5 minus 5. Then bracket after that divide by x. Similarly, if you and don't forget, although there is no multiplication symbol in the mathematical formula, we need to put that multiplication symbol in the Java. Java will not understand 10 times bracket without symbol, or 9 times bracket without the symbol. We need to explicitly put the multiplication symbol. Here I want to attract your attention to go through one examples of a program. We are going to go through from the first line until the end, and we will see the changes or what will happen in computer. Okay, say that we start with the declaration variable radius as double. That means when computer execute that line, computer will prepare a location, a box or location there, and with the name radius without value at all at that time. Then when we declare another variable area, same thing, computer will prepare a space to store value for area. But at that time, there is no value at the area location. So when you store 20 to variable radius, computer will take that value and store to the location that have been prepared previously. Okay, when we have statement that contains calculation, always, as I always frequently repeated it, computer will process at the right side of equal first. That means computer will perform the calculation. Radius times radius 20 times 20 times 3.14 something. Computer will get the value. After calculation, say that computer will get 1256.63636. The value will be stored in variable area. So computer will take the value and goes to the location of area, then we store that value inside that. Then when we perform system out print line, the computer will display whatever inside double quote, inside the string. So computer will display that the area for the circle of radius, then combine with the variable radius, that means combine with 20, combine with another message, another string is, this means now computer will display the area for the circle of radius 20 is, and combine with the area. That means combine with 1256 something. So it will display as in this diagram. Okay, now we are going to discuss about another special operators, which is called increment and decrement operators. Increment will be denoted by double plus sign, and decrement will be denoted with a double minus sign. So we can write the statement like this: count plus plus semicolon. So when we write like that, computer will interpret as count equal to count plus 1. That means count plus plus is similar as you put count equal to count plus 1. Or in another word, count plus plus mean we add 1 to count. So similarly, when we have minus minus, count minus minus, that means we subtract 1 from the count. So we can write increment and decrement operator before a variable or after the variable. They have the same meanings. Plus plus variable mean we add 1 to variable. Variable plus plus also mean we add 1 to variable. I will discuss about the I will mention about what make difference between we put increment operator in front of variable or at the end of the variable. But basically, it means add 1 to that variable. Similarly, for minus minus variable or variable minus minus, before or after, it means we decrease 1 from the variable. Okay, as I just mentioned, it's same either at the end of variable or before the variable. You should give extra focus in this slide. So when increment or decrement operator in mathematical expression, and after that is stored in one variable, the plus plus at the end of variable or before variable will mean different things. Okay, let us go to the first example. Integer I equal 10 means we store 10 to I. Then we have integer new num equal to 10 times I plus plus. Okay, as previous, we process at the right side of equal. That means we process 10 times I plus plus. What I want you to know is, although we mentioned that I plus plus means we add 1 to I, but if plus plus at the end, we perform the calculation first. Then we add the I value. That means in that case, we perform the calculation 10 times 10. 10 times 10 equal to 100. We store to new num. That means new num will contain 100. After that, after we store 100 to new num, then we increase the I. That means I become 11. Okay, in the first case, new num will contain 100 and I will become 11. And don't make mistake, the calculation is not 10 times I plus plus, means 10 times 11. That's not the case. When I at the back of variable, we need to perform the calculation without increase the I. After we perform the calculation, we store the value, then we increase the I. Okay, let us go to the second example. The second example, the increment is in front of I. That means before we perform the calculation, we increase the I first. If increment operator at the back of I, we perform the calculation without increase the I, then after that we increase the I. But in the second case, we increase the I first, then we perform the calculation. That means in the second case, first I will become 11, then new num will become 10 times 11. That's means 110. Compared to the first case, new num just contains 100. Okay, the other form of writing mathematical operation, we might write like that. Num plus equal count. So when num plus equal count, we always mean num equal num plus count. That means we will take the variable, the variable at the right side, the variable at the left side of the equal, and then that variable we will convert to equal the same variable, and the symbol before equal previously we put after that, then we will combine with the count. That means if any operator before equal, that means the first variable equal to the first variable, then that operator times with the we perform the operation with the second variable. Let's look at this exercise. X plus equal y always mean x equal x. Always remember like that. X equal x, then the symbol before equal goes after that and combine with the y. See the same pattern, x minus equal y always become x equal x. The first variable equals the first variable. Then the symbol minus and goes combine with the variable or the expression after equal. Similarly with the multiplication, division, and modulus. Okay, please observe. And always remember that you can stop at any time this clip and try to observe it, try to understand it, and try to apply. Okay, please look at this case. Result minus equal, total minus mean, modulus num. Always remember when you want to convert to the normal way of writing the coding, the variable before equal, it should be, say that in this case result, it's always be result equal result. After that, the operator division we put after that, and we will combine the whole thing of the right side of equal, so that if you observe, it's equivalent to total mean modulus num in the whole bracket. That means result equal to result divided by the whole expression of the right side of equal. Okay, just to show example, although it's not really relate to the previous slide, just to show from Java expression to the mathematical expression. But the most important thing here is to go to the most innerst bracket. We have many brackets in the expression, and goes to the most deepest bracket, and the most deepest bracket in that expression is b times b minus b times a times c. So that perform that thing first. Convert back to the mathematical expression. Okay, please observe. Please stop this slide and observe it carefully. Now we are going to discuss about casting. To make it easier for us to understand, casting is about to change data type of certain value in the middle of operation. Okay, just goes back to what we discussed previously about integer divide by integer. When integer divide by integer, will not get the real result because the fraction or the decimal point will be wiped out. It will become only integer. Say that 5 divided by 2. 5 integer divided by 2 integer, the result will be not 2.5. The result will be 2. Okay. Another example. Say that 50 divided by 6. 50 divided by 6 will get 8 point something. But the answer will be 8, not 8 point something. So in the case of integer divided by integer, but we want to get the real result with the decimal point. But in this case, total is integer, C also integer. How we are going to get the real answer with decimal point? So if we can change one of the operand, I mean either total or 6, to double or to float, so the answer of the operation will be with decimal point, will give the real result. So we need to change either one, at least either one, right? Total or 6. So when we want to change on the fly the operation to change to another data type, you can use casting. The way to use casting is before a variable or before a value, we put a bracket, then we mention that we want to change to either to float, to double, or to integer. In this case, we want to change total to float. So when we change total to float, so the answer will have decimal point. We will give the real result. So to change total to float, before the variable total, we need to put bracket and put the data type that we want to change. So by putting like that, the variable total still integer, but when we perform the operation at the right side of equal, the total still integer, but the operation will be float. I mean only for that operation. And float total divide by 6. So we will get the answer in decimal point. So in the first case, we change float, say that as integer, by putting like that, x become float divided by 3, then the answer will be in float. The second case, say that x integer, y integer, x divided by y, we get integer result. Then when we time with 3.0, so the result will be in double. But after that, we cast, we put the casting there, integer. That means the whole result will be changed to integer. The last thing that I want to cover in this clip is about escape sequence. Escape sequence is about how to allow certain character to appear in your string. Such as, say that you want to display, I said hello to you, and the word hello in double quote. How to put or how to display, I said hello in double quote to you. The character double quote should be appear in your display. The problem is when you want to put hello in double quote inside the main double quotes, because you need to put all your message in a string, so the computer will confuse. Either your message is I say only because it start with before I and it close with the say. The computer confused. So you need to specify clearly that you want to allow double quote of hello inside your message. To do that, you need to give what they call as escape sequence for the double quotes of hello. Eh? To put escape, when you put escape sequence character, computer will display whatever after escape sequence. Okay, so to put I said hello to you and the word hello in double quote, you need to put backslash for the first double quote and another backslash to the second double quote. That's me computer know now that your double quote for hello is the real character that you want to display. Computer will not confuse with the main message, main double quotes. Okay, so similarly, if you want to put backslash, or you want to put single quote or double quotes, you need to precede. You need to put backslash before that character, before the backslash, or before the single quotes, or before the double quotes. Okay, so please observe this one and see what is the result of this expression. Please go back to the previous slide and come to this slide. You can pause somewhere and observe the result. So the result will be like this. Please try to understand it. And if you need time, you should go back to the previous slide and try to understand it first and come back to this slide. Okay, I think that's all for this clip, and we will produce another clip later. If or you can try to create your own and share with others. Okay, so thank you. Bye bye.